No Man's Sky is celebrating its 9-year anniversary this year, and I wanted to jump back into a game that had me calling out sick to work all those years ago. Live service games have become a taboo word in today's gaming culture, but no game has a better comeback story than No Man's Sky. Adding content over content, patch over patch, it's dizzying, truly, but it's also awesome to be able to jump into a game where you feel at home, but also lost on where to begin. Well, in this video, I've partnered with Hello Games to get you acquainted with No Man's Sky. There are a lot of systems to learn, but there's a core underbelly that once you understand, you can take off running. So whether this is your first time or you're returning to really get lost in the universe of No Man's Sky, let me guide you through the basic system and how they all work. In my typical fashion of upfronting the knowledge in my videos, let me give you the down and dirty of what we'll be getting into or what we'll be talking about. I'll be discussing all the very basic systems. The game's tutorial will bring you through more of the complex stuff like how exocrafts work, how to set up your first base, all those more in-depth things that were added after the game came out. But they've also streamlined a lot of those basic systems so you can understand what's going on. I'm not going to be telling you the best way to get started or what the min-max approach is. This game is about exploration and figuring out what works for you as an intrepid adventurer in this universe. I will stress this many times in this video, to the point of probably annoying you. I encourage you to look up as little as you can about things and stumble upon them. The game provides enough breadcrumbs to learn or find whatever you need. There are no real wrong choices. All you need to worry about is enjoying the journey. When in doubt, simply complete primary objectives and you'll find yourself back on track in no time. Remember, the meta of No Man's Sky is about having fun. That's all you need to worry about. But that's too long didn't watch this entire video. And if that's all you wanted to know, please feel free to shut the video down. I want to be respectful of your time. If you end up enjoying this video and it helps you out, please don't forget to like, comment, or subscribe, as each one of those things helps me out in a huge way. You can also navigate to any part of this video that interests you the most using the chapters with the timeline in the description. Well, let's get started with the essentials for beginners and returners in No Man's Sky. Before we get into a lot of subjects, one big thing I want to talk about, because I'm going to reference it a lot, is your income. Top left over here, you're going to see 3 different currency types: units, nanites, and quicksilver. Quicksilver, you're going to get from a lot of things like community events and whatnot. I really wouldn't worry about Quicksilver if you're brand new, because you can only use it at a Quicksilver synthesis companion. It's something on the Atlas. Now, you're not going to understand those terms. That's totally fine because you're brand new. You will eventually understand those terms, and you will want to find Quicksilver to get the cool cosmetics or whatever it is that you're going to want from Quicksilver. But in the beginning, don't worry about it. Now, your other 2 are very important. Units, credits right here. Units, sorry, it's not credits. Units are what is going to be your primary driving force for purchasing things, buying additional, or swapping out your multi-tool, buying different ships, buying individual resources that you might need, selling those resources. Units are going to be scarce at first, as they are with any game, but you're going to be able to roll in an abundance of them across all the many activities you're going to find throughout the game that do reward you with units. Even just simply scanning things is going to give you units. Now, the other resource is very important, and this is going to come into a conversation about class and upgrades and such. Nanites, right here, are how you're going to purchase technology that will then further enhance your capabilities within the game, either across your exosuit, your starship, or your multi-tool. Nanites can be used for a number of things too. Maybe if you're trying to buy individual components for your base, whatever it is, nanites are kind of, if units are what allows you to kind of buy the over-encompassing object of whatever it is, a starship, an exosuit, well, a starship or a multi-tool, nanites are what allow you to modify and enhance that tool or that ship, whatever it is. So nanites are your upgrade currency, and units are the currency to buy everything that constructs things or to buy the actual parent item itself. So you'll understand that those 2 are going to be used very much your entire time of playing. And nanites you'll be able to get through drops of drop pods. You'll find them in little individual caches. We'll talk about the Discover tab and how you can upload anything you've scanned. Remember, scanning gives you units, uploading those scans give you nanites. So they work in tandem. So we've got those 2 subjects solidified. Let's talk about class, because it's going to be one of the most important things that you have to understand across a lot of stuff in this game. So here is my starship, the Victus. If you are a fan of the Legacy of Kain series, you will also like that name. You'll also see within my starship are multiple components. All of these things have a class distinction. C is the lowest. C B, A, and then S are your progression points for class. Now, think of class as a tier, if you will. If you're familiar with any kind of online role-playing game, you know you've played like maybe World of Warcraft or Final Fantasy. There's gear for your character, but varying intensities of that gear, which are tiered, right? Oh, my tier 1 gear, my tier 2 gear, my tier 3 gear. It's the same thing. C class is the quote-unquote worst of all the items within that class. So for example here, an ionized splitter exists across multiple tiers. C class, B class, A class, and S class. And you can see the C class for the ionized splitter is only a 1% fire rate, so it's nothing too crazy, nothing to write home about. Conversely here, the cadmium drive, this is a B class item. Now, anytime we want to upgrade these things, we can do that. You can manually upgrade that stuff, but you can also just simply find additional items that just have a better class to them. This class system applies to your starship, the actual starship itself, right? The multi-tool, the actual multi-tool itself, and all of its technologies, as well as the technologies of your exosuit. You cannot upgrade your exosuit's tier or class. It's just the same. You just put different technologies into them and further enhance it as you see fit. So the tier system is very important because what you're going to see here on the multi-tool especially, and I don't actually have any, we'll talk about this in just a little bit when we talk about modules and installation, but the increase in tier increases the little purple backgrounds of these things. And when you have a purple background to any of these slots, these technology slots, then it further enhances them. And it also increases your upward potential for the damage, the scanner range, the hyperdrive range, the damage potential. All these things get an innate bonus from the actual class. So let's talk about then upgrading things. So we are now at a starship starship technology vendor, and you will find these on space stations. Don't worry, we will talk about space stations towards the end of this video. Through this, we talked about the nanites, right? And how nanites are going to allow us to buy these individual pieces. Well, look at all this stuff in here, man. An S-class reactor. There it is. There, it's right there. An S-class. That's the best of the best. So all starships will have varying amounts of inventory. All vendors have varying amounts of inventory. This allows you to jump into these locations and find things. Oh man, a really good phase beam, a supremely powerful upgrade for the starship phase beam. This is pretty sick. Increases the damage output and overheat tolerance. So we can go through these things and find the ones that we can afford and the ones that are going to be a direct upgrade, and then go ahead and slap them onto our machine, our starship. Now you can also find any of these modules when you do a number of things within the game. You'll find them from drop pods, you'll find them from all sorts of stuff in the game. But upgrading is a big part of the game, that kind of carrot and stick of like, oh man, I want my photon cannon to be the best that it can possibly be. So I'm going to buy this for 130 nanite clusters. And as you rank up in your faction with them, you'll see I've got a discount, which is, I mean, it's not small, it's not substantial, but it's not small. So you can go ahead and track down these individual modules, and we'll talk about starships later. But now let's talk about the actual module system and how it works together. There's a lot to take in this game. And before we jump into the subject of crafting, I want to talk about simply pressing escape and looking at 3 big things. Well, maybe even 4 actually. Let's start off with options. Options is how you're going to do everything to like save your data, exit the game, whatnot. But there's a lot of stuff, even in all these option menus. You can change your exosuit voice, your character's voice. All sorts of stuff is really powerfully hidden here within a lot of these options. So just make sure you sift through them depending upon which console or which I guess platform, is you're playing at, especially the camera. I changed a lot of these camera settings on foot camera and the third person camera movement because it was making me a little sick. Or the camera height, I fixed it, or I increased the field of view on foot just a little bit here. So make sure you take a look at these. You can kind of cater out the difficulty too if you want, whatever the situation is, even though you already did that when you started. But these 2 or 3 other ones are really important. Discoveries here are all the things that you kind of marked with your scanner. So if you are looking, if you're looking for something in specific, you can go through this. Or if you're on a new planet, you've got waypoints that you can put on here and then upload them. And if you upload them, they're going to give you nanite cluster. Oops. Oh, there we go. Nanite clusters, which we use for upgrading. Rename and upload, or just press F to upload. There we go. Upload it. So you've got all these little waypoints, and doing these things are really important because it gives you, like I said, all these nanite clusters. See, complete to receive 3000 nanite by going through this entire list. And that's going to help you in kind of shoring up your discoveries per location. And you can see there, upload. We want to press F to upload those. Always. It's right click to do that. What a great instructional video where I forgot that it's right click, goes the menu back. And you can see I discovered this thing 4 years ago. But we're going to go ahead here, and some of these we've already done. Or Flora we've already done. F to upload it, just making sure that we're uploading all these little ones that have the little up arrow. It's telling us we've got plenty to upload. But discoveries is huge because nanites are a big portion of the game. Like I said before, it's how you're going to get a lot of your upgrades, stuff like that. But we also have catalog and guide, and this houses every other little big thing that you're is that a term I'm going to go with, that you're going to deal with. You've got your recipes in here. You've got building parts in here. You've got collected knowledge in here. So any of the languages that you've unlocked from any of the discussion points that you've done, they're all in here. Some wonders that you've unlocked here are all here. Technology is all here. So anything that you might have unlocked that you have, maybe you thought you didn't have it. Like, okay, so for example, maybe you have encountered the airburst engine, but you didn't sure if you bought it or not. Just go through this and you'll be able to see if it's colored in or not. Like I have not built this or encountered this, and you can see it's even if it's completely blank, I haven't even seen it. So you can see now kind of how to track all these individual technologies. But there's also the material and items, which we'll get into in just a little bit, and this allows you to really hunt down specific materials or items you're looking for your crafting. So let's talk about crafting now. Now crafting is a huge part of this game, and crafting also takes part in technology and installing technology. So we're going to talk about those two in tandem because a lot of the stuff we're going to talk about is done in tandem. So we can see that we have a technology piece up here that we need to find components for. And if I click this little square, we have pieces that we can craft to socket into that technology piece. Obviously, if it's filled in, I already have it. If it's grayed out like this, we don't have the materials to build it. So for example here, the Starship launch fuel. I need dihydrogen and I need metal plating. Well, metal plating we can build right there, easy. Okay, so how do I get dihydrogen? Or this jelly, how do I get dihydrogen? Or this warp cell, how do I get antimatter? Antimatter. Okay, how do I get chromatic metal and condensed carbon? All these things can be fixed by simply pressing the X button, and it will add this to your log. Now the log is deliberately one thing I did not talk about, because I'm also going to talk about primary and secondary missions. But the log will have all of our formulas that we've pinned, and it will tell us right here in the log, chromatic metal is created in a refiner from the stellar metals, copper, cadmium, emerald, and indium. So we can go ahead and find any one of these, and that's how we're going to get our chromatic metal. We're going to use a refiner and what have you. But this is a really great way to find the spot things that we need, and especially too if I go ahead and look at maybe this one here. This is an actual piece of technology. Let's press X to view installation details, and it's going to pop up on the right over here and tell us gather tritium just like it's a quest. And it'll appear in the lower right corner right there. Tritium is abundant in asteroid fields. In space, scan C to search for tritium-rich asteroids. But let's assume we wanted to just look and find that manually. Well, we press catalog and guide. We go to material and items, and we go to raw materials core. We can see that it's right here. Radioactive isotope commonly used to fuel the fusion reactor at the heart of a starship's pulse engines. And it tells me how to get it. So I can press left click to locate the substance, and it'll help me find this. Ferrite dust is one you're going to encounter a lot. If it's like this, you just haven't encountered it yet. Or exotic ones that you're going to find through the chromatic metal. Remember, we talked about that one a little bit ago as one of the required resources for some things. So use your catalog a lot. And that's why I kind of prefaced this discussion or this section with the catalog, or I'm sorry, the crafting section with this catalog and guide, because it really gives you a lot of information on where all this stuff is. And on top of it too, you have the guide. which can then give you further information about individual components that you maybe just don't know about yet. Like, hey, I understood the game was trying to tell me about nanites, or what it was trying to tell me about recipes and blueprints. Oh, well, here's more of that information, or here it is saved, so you can go back and look at it at any point. So really use these options to help you out. And let's now talk quickly about your primary and secondary missions in the log. So No Man's Sky is very much about exploring the game at your own pace, and I strongly encourage you to do that. Don't look up a guide on how to do it as quick as possible or as fast as possible. The game is meant to really be a true sandbox. You are dropped in a universe with endless possibilities. And for a long time, those possibilities were things that we had to create for ourselves. Like, hey, how do I do certain things in this planet? Now the game very much so cookie crisps, breadcrumbs you into specific game mechanics. And those are primarily linked, not all entirely, but primarily linked to your primary missions. So you'll see Artemis the Explorer, the Space Anomaly, the Atlas Path. The two big paths are the Artemis Path, this one, and the Atlas Path, this one. Do them as you encounter them. Maybe you don't encounter them for a long time. It's not going to make a difference. But these primary missions will help color certain things that you want to encounter within the game. Maybe you say, hey, you know what, I'm enjoying the Atlas Station. And if you don't know what that is, don't worry about it. You will discover it. And I don't want to shortchange your discovery of this game. I want you to jump into the individual thing, go, well, what the hell's the exploration guide? That sounds kind of fun. I've always wanted to be an explorer. Or maybe what is this exosuit upgrade thing that he's got? What is that? The game is really good at presenting the information to you, and you can use the log to find anything that it gave you direction towards. Primary missions being the kind of the real story of the game, and primary missions are typically what's going to unlock other technologies or features for you. For example, if I wanted to get access to all of the vehicles in the game, like the ground vehicles, the mech suit, stuff like that, I would simply do some of the primary missions. If I wanted to get access maybe to some more exosuit upgrades, more stuff in my base so I can build more things, I'm going to want to do any of the secondary missions I've unlocked, either by finding upgrade charts in the game reminding me, hey, use your exosuit upgrade chart. It's on your person. It's somewhere in your inventory. Find it, use it, and go find a drop pod to get more upgrades to your exosuit. Or, hey, this says you've already done some stuff with your base archive. Go back and tap into it. Or you played around with some pirates earlier. Now go to those coordinates and have a little bit more fun. Whatever it is, it's all in some way, shape, or form tracked within this log. And the log is a very powerful tool that you can use when you take breaks from the game, that you're trying to track a lot of things in the game because you're brand new and you're like, ah, crap, man, I don't know. The thing told me to do this, that, and this. Well, this is where you can track it all a lot easier, and it organizes it so you can just jump right in. So your scanner. It's going to be one of the biggest ways that you're going to navigate the game world. And the game, when you first start off, does show you this. It says, hey, press C. Cool, I'm now going to be able to find hydrogen over there, or oxygen, or sodium, all sorts of things all over the place. But then you can hold F, and you've got this scanner. You've got an analysis mode, and you've got a target sweep mode. So what are these going to do for you? I'm brand new to the game. What the hell does this all mean? The biggest thing that you're going to be using this for is if you first jump onto a planet and you're like, let me get some direction for myself. Maybe I'm not here because I'm trying to do a mission. Maybe I'm just here because I'm trying to find fun things to do. Well, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to come to this like kind of a larger area over here and maybe blow out my jetpack. So here, this big, huge canyon, all these places. I'm going to press F and I'm going to see all these things. What's this? It's an unknown building. What's this? It's a copper deposit. Here's another copper deposit. Well, here's some creatures I can scan. And remember, we want to make sure we're doing those. Here's a buried cache. There's all sorts of things all over the map. Use this analysis mode to really give you some direction when you jump onto a world for the first time. What the hell are all these things? What is this? I haven't even scanned this. Let's do it. Boom, we got our discovery here. We made some credits off of these things. So that's the importance of analysis mode. You want to be able to find some direction, but you also want to scan any flora or fauna that you have not scanned. This is going to give you credits, but it's also going to give you those nanites that we talked about and how those can be directly uploaded from the discovery and gives you those upgrade capabilities. But again, this also gives you, hey, you know what? I need more knowledge stones. I'm trying to find some more bits of information on a language. Or what's this buried technology module? Is there a drop pod around here somewhere? I don't know, probably is. I haven't looked hard enough. But that's why we want to use this scanner. You're going to be staying in this scanner quite a bit. But then we also have target sweep mode. What does this mean? You've jumped into it. You're like, this doesn't mean, I don't get it. Location service, whatever. Well, whenever you're trying to do an objective for a mission and you land on a planet and you're not quite sure where that objective is, you pop into this and it will beep to the left or to the right to give you direction on where to go to look at something, to then say, hey, this thing is now 300 U's away, whatever it is. So you get direction on where you're trying to do for your missions. So while this one gives you practical information on the game world and what you want to manipulate or play around with or do things with, this gives you the information on specific missions for targets that you're trying to hit. So use your scanner a lot because you're going to be using it all the time between this and this to find everything that you need. You just got to space for the first time and you're kind of a little lost. You need a little bit of direction. Sure, you just go jump to another planet, figure it out, see what it's all about. It's going to be a fun process. But you'll see that there's these lines coming from the planets. And these lines will usually lead towards this little guy right there, a space station. So what we want to do is go to that space station. I'm going to go ahead and press spacebar. I'm on computer. This will just go ahead and lock in towards it. Now, I know that this space station, and you're going to see what happens, is behind this planet. So the game's going to just navigate around. It's going to find the space station for me, and I can see that I'm going to start approaching it. Space stations are pretty huge because they act as a hub for a lot of different things. You can go ahead and find spaceships here, you can find component upgrades, you can find the markets you can sell stuff to and buy stuff from. So we're going to go ahead and get to this space station, and we're going to talk about how this is going to help you out even in the very beginning portions of the game as well as throughout the rest of the game. So as we approach here, it's going to just bring us right into the front of it, because you can only approach and land from a certain angle, and then it's just going to bounce off the side. Oh man, I hope there's no infractions about that. So we'll go ahead and jump around to where this pinion of light is, and it'll initiate an auto docking sequence. Will come through, and then we get to find locations to buy and sell from. So here we are. We're on a starship. There's ships everywhere. There's the local population. But what's even the point of coming here? Well, like I said, the big thing is merchants. We can come over to this location as denoted by this little guy right there. And this is going to be our vehicle or exocraft research. This is going to be our starship research, as we can see from this one. And as we go to these different booths, and depending on the starship and who's running the starship, we'll have access to different things. So here's all of that's our multi-tool, sorry. And here's our exosuit. So we can go ahead and get these individual things from this. So we want to be able to use this multi-tool research. But there's another big thing at starships we want to do too, for the ones that we haven't visited. Add slots and improve class. We'll hold down E. Remember we talked about the class system in this game? Well, now at starships, we get to do a lot of other stuff. Oops, press the wrong button. We get to do this, and I can install a slot. I can purchase a new slot. I can upgrade a class. So this allows me to further enhance maybe a multi-tool I really like. We'll just upgrade the class a bit. There's a lot of arguments on the internet that can be said, hey, don't upgrade the class, just go find a native one. Do whatever you want, play the game how you want, discover the things that are pitfalls, discover the things that don't work for you, and then maybe go find the min-max. But as it stands, if you want to upgrade one, you like the look of it, then do it. Pretty much multi-tools exist as an extension of the aesthetic that you like. You can make an argument about the different types of multi-tools between like a rifle or a pistol or what have you, but really it's just the technology inside. So upgrade the class if you want, go find one if you want. There's plenty of ways to approach it, but this is how we would upgrade a multi-tool and make it better, or physically upgrade it through here. We have also, oh look at that guy, we can come in here and do exosuit research, but also we have the ability to come into exosuit upgrade and do any of the stuff that we want from here. Oh man, I can upgrade the exosuit with another inventory slot for 50K. You've got all sorts of stuff that is done in these, what is this thing called? In this spaceport. Also, you'll find stuff like this from time to time. Salo. Yeah, just 3 credits. Run around. Oh, another one. Don't mind if I do. It's all. Sometimes you get resources. Sometimes you get nanite clusters. You get a bunch of things. And we're going to talk about this in a little bit, but you can also find additional multi-tools. You can find additional starships. And we'll talk about that in our next section here. But you can see there's plenty of stuff to be done within this this massive... what is wrong with me? I keep calling it a starship. It's not a starship. It's not a dry dock, because that's what I wanted to call it a second ago. In these space stations. We also have our other guilds that exist down here, as you can see. These are the other little signs. And with these, we get to go and do certain things. So, let's go over here. And we can talk to this guy, who's the exchange navigation data. So if you get any navigation data that you found through your spelunking journeys on planets, you'd exchange it right here. Exchange specific charts. And we can just kind of swap out charts through this. And this, again, I want you to explore this. Read these descriptions and go through if you want to do it or not. You can, and the little symbol right here gives you a hint of what's going on, right? This is for alien cartography or like of an ancient civilization. This is going to help out with any kind of language. Or, hey, this is for an inhabited outpost. This is for distress signals. So do these as you want to, as the activity that interests you. I don't want you to look up and something on the internet that says, yeah, only do these. These are the only things that are worth it. The game, like I said before, is about exploration. I'll come over here to, we'll talk about that one in a little bit. This guy right here. Then we have a mission agent, so we can do different missions right here from this character. Oops, or press the wrong button here, right? So we can do all these missions, which are going to give us explorer standing, or mercenary standing, or nanites, or exosuit upgrade charts. All sorts of things can be done from space station. We also have this, which is a station teleporter. This is going to be nice to send you back to your base if you set one up. And we have this, the Galactic Trade Terminal. So now we can buy and sell, and this is going to be unique to the individual space station you go to. This is system-wide for that space station. As you jump to another system, these will be different. So the demand, the buy, sell, all this will be a different kind of situation. So what you can do here is take a look at sell, and we're going to go ahead and you can switch between our individual exosuit or starship inventory by pressing this button at the top. Mine's C because I'm on computer, and we can kind of scoop through this and find things that are in demand, like, oh, chromatic metal, that's slightly in demand, and just kind of sift through. Okay, this is not in demand, right? Like anything that's kind of got a big plus to it, we can focus on and go, hey, you know what? Let's just look at chromatic metal. This has got a 3% in demand. I could sell it here for quite a bit, and then jump to another system and see what they have in demand, and then use buying and selling to kind of manipulate a quote-unquote market. Like this has a wiring loom is in demand over here, so we can just kind of play around with these things as you see fit, and you can really actually, you can't like tank an economy, but you can have fun going, hey, I know in this location certain resources here are in super demand, so okay, I don't have any silver, let's find one that is in demand. -8. You want, obviously we want to find the pluses, right? And we want to find green text. So green text tells us that it's in a real surplus of demand. So if I want to go get some bunch of neural ducks and sell them here, I'll get a bunch of money for it. Or descented bottles, I'll get a bunch of money for it. Or even just vortex cubes, I'll get more money than I would other places. So it's kind of nice, you just kind of hunt around for those things. And I've done this in the past to get me quite a bit of money, just kind of jumping from system to system and looking at the Galactic Trade Terminal. So you've got all that you can take advantage of. And one of the last things here is this. So if I want to recalibrate how I look, I would come to this in any of these space stations and change my character. So with all that being said here at this space station, is that it? Isn't there more I can do? Well, there is. There's also this guy for paleontological specimens. But there's one other thing, and it has to do with your starship and your multi-tool. Take a look at all these starships. Okay, maybe just that one's mine, but look at these 2 starships over here. This is a big thing with ports or any of the trade docks that are on planets or any individual planet that might actually have a downed ship. Getting a new ship is kind of a rite of passage of this game. Okay, I was going to go take a look at you, but not anymore. And these space stations allow you a chance to, let's go take a look at this ship over here. We talk E to the flag bearer here, and let's make an offer on his ship. So now I can see what he's got. Well, he's got a Class C ship. He does have one of these little purple spots that we talked about, right? We know how important those are. And I can also press negotiate price. Now I can see a side-by-side of both of my ships. I can see that my damage potential is better, my hyperdrive range is better, my maneuverability is better, but his shield strength is better. Keep in mind that this is looking at a 1-to-1 of installed components and the ship's result from those installed components. Meaning, if I were to press exchange, literally these two screens swap more or less, right? I don't get to just give him my ship and keep my individual pieces of technology. I have to remove those, which I can just as easily, because they're already built. You remove already installed technology and it just comes as a little item in your inventory. And you just simply put it right back onto your ship, and I'll show you in a second here. Or you can just simply buy it. Obviously, exchanging it, you'll get the difference of your trade-in price against his cost. So those two items will be pushed together to give you this right here, which is your exchange, or just buying it and adding it to your collection. You can basically make a fleet. So this is an important thing. You would want to do this to upgrade the class of your ship, ideally, or move away to a specific type of ship. Like I'm using a fighter right now. Let's go ahead and decline this. And some of these are explorers. I don't know, explorers are up right now. And if I just stay here, then more ships will just come in over time. I just kind of stand off to the side. This guy will leave, another one will come in. This will be the same thing at any of the trade posts that you find. They'll just kind of come and go, come and go. And this allows you to swap in and out of things. So let me actually do this too. Remember I said the starship? Well, we can go ahead and press X to store technology and put it into our inventory. And then I can just press E and it goes right back in. No need to rebuild it or anything like that. And I could even just press X and I could send this to my exosuit and put it on my person and press E and install it onto my ship. So you have those capabilities with all those technology pieces. But the other thing too is your multi-tool. So there will always be about 2 or 3 of these across the space station, and you'll find these in inhabited colonies. This is always everywhere. So if I hold down E for the weapon terminal, let's take a look at this bad boy. It's an A class and it's got a purple box. Wow, that's pretty damn sweet. Let's hold down left click to compare it. Well, to exchange it's going to cost me 3.1 mil, and I only have 1.9, so I clearly can't do it. But this gives you an idea of how, hey, we can go from a B class, and I'll be honest with you, I actually upgraded to this this specific multi-tool like right before I filmed this section, so cool, I really missed out here, because I would have liked this purple slot. And when I upgrade this thing, it will get a bit more purple slots as well. So this is just a cool way to give you an idea of, hey, yeah, I can just simply swap out my multi-tool. It's going to cost me a good chunk, and I want to make sure I pull off any non-relevant technology. Here's my point. Advanced mining laser, mining beam companion unit. Advanced mining laser, they are both the same thing, so you don't need to worry about pulling it off. You can pull it off still and sell it or do whatever you want with it, but you don't need to worry. So let's decline that. And there's another one on the other side here just to kind of drive my point home. Here, we have another one we can take advantage of if we so wish. And this one is a B class. The other one was A class. So you can see how the space station is really going to be a place that you're going to spend a lot of time at, because a lot of stuff can be done here. And at that, it brings our video here to a close. So hopefully this gives you a better idea of a lot of the basic systems. And again, I didn't talk about how to build the best base, where to build the best base. I didn't go into some things that are actually very integral to your playstyle or enjoyment of the game, but I want you to kind of experience them, I guess you could say. Experience them from the way that the game presents them to you. I figured it would be a spoiler if I did go into them. So you will actually find a whole other portion of the game that is very similar to space stations and it's a shared social space that is going to be another very integral portion of your gameplay. The game does have a whole quest line that is attached to that, which will guide you through the ins and outs of it. It'll also play into how base building will work and all of that action. But if you get lost with anything, if you have any questions, just please feel free to go ahead and ask in the comment section below. Again, a huge shout out to Hello Games for sponsoring this video. But as always, guys, thank you so much for watching here today. Have a good one and take care.